Okay, so it's 5 o'clock, and we have come back to interview Richard Alexander. He is here with us, and thank you so much for coming in. I'm really honored to have you in the gallery. Again, I choose people because I love their work. I find things that are different and fascinating about the things that they do, and that's why I have them in. So for those of you out there who was wondering how I found Richard, last year there was a fine art fair in Ballard Park here in Ridgefield that was put on by Gordon Fine Arts. Thank you for bringing that to our town. And Richard stopped in and we were talking, and he started showing me his work. And I believe the first work that he showed me was What's in the Box. And that you can find on our website. We're not sitting in front of it now. But I really fell in love with his use of color, his expressive brushstrokes, and of course, his unusual still life compositions. So, hi, Richard. Can you tell everybody a little bit about your work, this collection in particular, and, how you come up with what you do?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful space, and
Thank you.
the show looks fabulous. I really appreciate that. But my work comes to me, the ideas for these paintings quite often come while I'm driving down the street, or I'm listening to the news and not paying attention. And, I collect these old things because I just love them. They've got so much character. They're really representational of the time going by. They don't build things like this anymore.
Right.
So, being a kid and growing up around a neighborhood with vacant buildings and junkyards, we were always hunting for treasure when I was a kid. So I think that's why these things appeal to me.
Yes.
And sometimes I just put them together because I like the way they look together.
Right.
And other times, like this painting in particular, which you were talking about earlier.
Right.
I put this together because I thought that, our freedom of speech was in peril.
Right.
So,
A little bit of a political statement. So American Vice and Censorship, I alluded to it when we were talking before in the previous live, but is that a real company, or was that specifically to talk about the censorship that's going on and the free speech issue that we're having?
Yeah, that's why I put it on.
I figured, yeah. It's an incredible detail, and it looks like it belongs there. You just incorporated it so well. We weren't sure if it actually was supposed to be there. And the microphone, is that really from the 1930s? That's what I pictured when I saw it. And the old-time radio shows were so popular instead of TV.
Yeah, it is. It's old. I'm not sure the exact date. I thought it was from the 50s, but it could very well be. I saw a show the other day that they had the same microphone, but it was a very old show.
Yeah.
On television, so.
Isn't that fun? So and you find your objects just around, or you've collected them all throughout your life?
Yeah, they catch my eye. As a matter of fact, I bought a piece next door.
Oh, did you? At Silver Linings?
Yeah. Out front, and I saw it with great patina, and I said to them, I'll take that, and you should go next door to D.Colabella Fine Art Gallery and look at my paintings, because this item is going to end up in one of my paintings in the very near future.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I love that. And yeah, that's an antique store that's in Ridgefield. You should definitely check it out if you haven't. Okay, so, when you're looking at a lot of your pieces, they all have a vice, right? Something contained within a vice. Can you tell us the significance of the vice for you and how you use that in your still lives?
Yeah. Well, they don't all have a vice in them.
They don't all, but a lot do.
I love the painting the vice. It's got so much character. And the first vice painting I painted because I wanted to create tension in the painting. Mm-hmm. And I just started brainstorming, and that's, the creative mind sometimes just goes wild, and I thought a wine glass in a vice would really be, dynamic.
Exactly. The perfect juxtaposition of something so strong and something so fragile together. And he has a beautiful piece very large, amazing piece that's in this show. And that piece, remind me of the name? The Vice in the Wine Glass.
The Vice.
Oh, it's called The Vice. There you go. So that piece is in this show. It is gorgeous. You got to see it. Definitely check it out on D.ColabellaFineArt.com. You can see all of his work under the current show. So I also read in your bio that you were a New York City fireman for a long time. You were stationed in the house, and then you kind of popped around into different studios throughout your time painting. How does that inform your work? And what was the significance of that and period of time for you?
Well, I did a lot of artwork while I was a New York City firefighter, and it was a unique group. It's a unique experience to belong to the New York City Fire Department. The camaraderie is paramount. You live with these guys, you go through the trenches with them, you become very close, and everybody, it's like family. And so we had accountants, social workers, lawyers amongst our ranks. Not everybody was just a firefighter. People came from different backgrounds. So I came from an art background, and quite often these different firehouses needed different artwork,
right?
And I built and designed many kitchen tables for firehouses all over the city, and it was a unique experience. I got to experience, pretty much every borough with my artwork, and I kind of got treated like I got treated very well because of it.
Almost like a celebrity.
Yeah, it's nice, a good experience.
That is amazing. So, I find your style of painting, meaning representational or, realistic, it never goes out of style. One of the things Richard and I were talking about before we came out was how at a time where abstract expressionism was, very popular, Pollock, Kandinsky, Rothko were all very popular at that time. Andrew Wyeth, who was a representational painter, filled the streets with people waiting in line to get in and see his exhibit. So realism tends to break through all of the trends. So what do you find that you love about that style of painting and why you've kept to it and haven't gone to a more abstract way of painting?
I think it's like you said, it's timeless, and I'm getting better and better at it, so I kind of gravitate towards it. But I love it. I like abstract too, and but it's not easy to do. It's not easy to do well.
Why?
I mean, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
But to do it well doesn't work for me. I tried it.
Right.
But I interestingly enough, I went to a lecture at the Salmagundi Club, and Daniel Green was there. And
Yeah.
He was the American Masters at the time. He's since passed away, but David LaFell was there. I think Howard Friedman, a lot of old painters, and they got into this little bit of a heated discussion about modern art and representational art. And I remember David LaFell and Daniel Green kind of got hot.
Yeah.
And they both had, they were both kind of, Daniel Green was, pro-abstract, and he definitely recognized it as art. And David LaFell did not feel the same way.
Yeah.
But I agree with what they both said. They're both, they both had very good points.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is just timeless.
Yeah, it definitely is, and always something good to add to your collection. So I also noticed in your bio, and of course from talking to you, how many jury shows and awards you've won throughout your time painting. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And what are you the most proud of, where you go, I got that one?
Yeah. Well, I've gotten a lot of awards in a long time ago. This is what I like about the art world and artists in general. A long time ago, when I started out, this woman, Sue Barassi, told me, join as many art organizations as you can and get involved and do these certain things. And she wanted to help me along. And so I slowly got better and better, but I didn't know where I fit in the art world. So I wanted to kind of somebody to tell me how good looking I was,
Yeah.
or I had bad breath. So I joined Oil Painters of America because I did the math, and they have 3,000 people enter their shows,
Wow.
3,000 paintings, and they
Right.
take about 300. So I wanted to be in the top 10%
Right.
in the art world. So I figured if I enter the show and I get in, that I know where I sit, I know where I kind of stand. So I started entering their shows, and I got in, and I actually won some awards for them, and I was lucky enough to be in a magazine and an article out in California, the museum in California. I had a painting in a show out there, and a local foundation, Seven Bridges Foundation, saw the painting and bought it.
Oh, amazing.
And I'm part of their permanent collection, and so to answer your question, the awards and the accolades are wonderful, but like Corey and I were talking about earlier, you got to put yourself out there. Dylan and I were talking. You have to say yes to opportunities.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's a great piece of advice for everybody. But what was your most valuable? Was it to get involved in everything and apply for shows and really put your work out there? Would you say that was the most valuable piece of advice that you received, or was there something else that sticks out?
No, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was studying in a place that they were very rigid with their teachings.
Yeah.
And for example, one day the instructor came by and he saw a tube of paint in my box. It was flesh tone. And he picked it up and he said, "What is this?" I go, "It's flesh tone." He said, "Throw this away." So they wanted you to use their colors.
Right.
So it was almost like this other person came to me and whispered in my ear, "Listen, go study with other people, learn things." So I think that's the most valuable advice that I got, was learn from wherever you can.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, thank you. So that's it for today. Thank you for coming in. Is there anything else you'd like to add, or?
No, just thank you. This show is fantastic. It's right in Ridgefield, Connecticut. And,
Yeah.
This is like a trip to a museum. It's really worth seeing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And again, follow Richard on Instagram. Follow D.Colabella Fine Art on Instagram. Go check out all the work on our website. And we will see you back in a couple of minutes when Corey will be joining us. Thanks a bunch.